Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Trade deadline still happening, but games are as well. So we got to recap what happened on the field. Let's do it. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, brought to you by DraftKings. My name is Jimmy, his name is Jake. Trevor coming to you from California, and producer BBD in the corner. And we've got some baseball to discuss. I'm excited about it. This one is brought to you by Jeremy Skirto, Kate Hughes, Greg Carlson, Logan Pretty, Mr. Pretty. It's kind of fun. Nick Gieslin, and Kyle A. Davis. Those are our most recent patrons. Appreciate you guys very much. We did all the trades that have happened besides two. We recapped yesterday. Luckily, there has been a slight pause, and we can just kind of talk about what actually happened on the field on this episode. And then after the deadline, or if something crazy happens, we'll be ready all day to jump on. If something really big happens, maybe we jump on, when it happens after this episode, or at 4:30 when everything's done and it's final, we will come on and recap all the trades that we haven't talked about already. Should be another really wild day, as there is a lot of guys still out there that are trying to be moved. Trev, how are you doing? How was the Angels game?
James, Jacob, Big Dong. I'm doing well, man. Thank you for asking. The game last night was awesome. I love Angel Stadium. I always love playing there, and then going back, it's so easy to get in and out and like walk around. It's like the exact opposite of Dodger Stadium. So we had a great time. Obviously, I put out last night, Shohei signed a ball for Teddy, which is like super cool. He was very excited about it, and the kids had a good time, which is basically all that I wanted to accomplish. So mission accomplished. I'm excited. We have like a full day of talking baseball, starting with the recap, and then later on today we'll do the other trade deadline episode. So I'm excited. Me and the boys back in the lab. This is what we do.
How was Cabo? I guess we got to ask as well.
What happens in Cabo, Jim, comes on talking baseball. We had a great time. A lot of margaritas by the pool. Actually, I drank mostly Modelo. I'm not a big liquor guy. But, just a good little getaway. Sometimes parents need to have some time alone. You'll learn that soon. So much needed. And now I'm rejuvenated, ready to be a full-time parent again.
And reports that Dylan Bundy knew you were in the building and knew Talking Baseball had a representative and was shook. And that's why he loaded the bases before getting a single out. True or false?
Not true.
Oh.
I don't think he knew I was there. I was pretty incognito last night. I did meet some Talking Baseball fans, and then also one of the mods. I want to give a shout out. Saw Nate Steele there yesterday. And he was trying to say no big deal to the first inning. And then also in that same sentence, he said this is pretty much a do or die game for the Angels. So didn't start out well, didn't end well, but good to see Nate out there. He's a good dude.
Nice. Jake, how are you?
James, Big Baby David, everyone live in the chat. Everyone not live. I mean, so much fun yesterday. Baseball was as hot as it can be in the streets.
Awesome. Berrios to the Blue Jays.
Whoa. Confirmed.
Blue Jays, they're going back to Toronto. They're trying to win. Let's go.
Toronto's going to be litty tonight. And I do think before we get too far away from it, Trev, because, yes, you did go to Cabo, and that's pretty nice. And, you get the Ohtani ball last night. Before the Cabo trip, it looked like you went to a little soiree. Do you want to talk about that at all? Because that seemed not like my Friday nights.
Same group I went to Cabo with.
Yeah.
Had Nelly come out and perform at the party, which is, funny, but also at the same time you realize like Nelly had like bangers.
Nelly's big.
He's big, and like he played 5 or 6 songs, and everybody knew every single word to all the songs. And it's like hip hop, then there's like pop, and then there's like some techno. Like he's got a full range of songs that you can kind of just throw on, and everyone just gets hyped. So it was fun, man. I may or may not have shared some time with Nelly that night, if you know what I mean.
You want to name drop anyone else? Because I know there's a couple other people there. I don't know how far you want to push your boundaries on it, but
That's it.
I'm just happy Hollywood Trev is like here. Like
I'm always networking, baby. I'm always
Smart.
networking for the company.
handing out those Talkin Baseball business cards at the.
Speaking of business cards, this is for real. I want to talk about Berrios to the Blue Jays, but I need to say this. I got handed an OnlyFans business card at that party.
Good.
Not kidding.
I wanted.
And they said, give it to Jake. We're very interested. So
That part felt like kidding. That part felt like you were kidding a little bit. I'm good. I was on a boat chasing lobsters for a day, so similar.
So soft.
But, man, Jim, you said it in the open a little bit. Man, you know, all the execs and Jeff Passan, like, it's no sleep season. Kind of felt like everyone slept the same amount we did.
Yeah,
Like, it was radio silent from, like, 1 a.m. to 9
Did you
a.m.,
see
and now
one
we're
of-
back.
There was one tweet that was like, just got told by a West Coast GM, don't sleep tonight. And I was like, okay, you're a liar.
I think the best one was the Nationals GM said, like, we're just getting started after the Scherzer and Turner deal. And it was kind of like, they pumped Hudson after that.
And
but,
Schwarber.
I think it was after Schwarbo, too. And it was just like, keep your eyes peeled. And it's like, all right, you're down to Hudson and Yan Gomes, so let's see what you got. But
I think Gomes is going to go today. But, I mean, for them, that is a lot. Like,
they've
everybody.
unloaded the ship, but you could sleep through it, I think was the more important point. And we did. So now we're ready to go all day, baby.
ready to go. Berrios, 2. We don't have a return on this yet, so I guess we can just hit pause, but it looks like it is. Rosenthal has it as official. Going to the Blue Jays.
Well, I'm firing my twin source. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, now, I mean, you still got a lot out there. It means a lot of people just directed their attention to Gibson, probably, if they want a 2-year starter. So
Gibson is my Gibson source.
Yeah.
So we'll see if
So we'll see if he
we'll see if that works. Oh,
Passan
no.
confirms Berrios Blue Jays.
nice.
Who got it first?
Kenny.
Kenny back on the board.
Kenny needed it.
I hate Trev in the beat reporter race. I hate how
Passan
much
gives
you
him
like
the
it.
credit in the
I
tweet.
hate
Don't
how
worry.
much you like it. Man, let's get through some of these games because it's about to be hot. There's now Rays with Chris Bryant and Kimbrel rumors. Yesterday was nuts. Today's going to, kind of match. You kind of can't match Scherzer, but today's going to kind of match.
Hard to imagine
Scherzer,
surpass.
Turner.
And Rizzo coming with 0 rumors.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That's how the Yankees usually do it, 0. I mean, Gallo had some hubbub, but, Rizzo was, fucking
the part
out of nowhere.
I tweeted it out, and I think the part that was hilarious, and someone followed up this morning and said it became very apparent that Rizzo and Schwarber were going to some combo of the Yankees and the Red Sox, and I think Rizzo was probably a better fit in Boston, and I think Schwarber was probably a better fit on the Yanks, and I think they kind of cock-blocked each other and are going to make it work. So.
I think both of those
I'm in on
teams
it.
have been kind of targeting the other guy for a long time now, so it's kind of funny. Just
Screw
two
it.
teams taking each other's dude.
Your videos yesterday, like the bodega run, electric content.
That's all I do.
I
didn't even know my
I would
phone
like to
was
see
on.
you running. I would like to see you running and talking more often. It's
I do have
exhausting.
to say, that's an uphill run.
Yeah,
for
on the way
Jay.
back, the
On
second
the way
one.
back, it's uphill. And he made it corner to corner pretty fast, uphill.
in the rain.
I still got it. I still got the wheels.
Well,
I
the
never
rain
lost
just
those.
pushed him. If there wasn't raining, it would have been a touch slower.
Yeah,
That's
it
just
would have never happened. There's no rain, that doesn't happen.
He isn't running.
would have been a stroll.
Takes his time
All right,
getting home.
let's get to it. I have the NL recap, and it's brought to you by a new documentary coming out by the National Baseball Hall of Fame. They have 13 episodes. It's a YouTube series. It drops every Wednesday. The Hall of Fame has a collection of a bunch of exciting stuff and stuff in there. And what they're doing is they're making a documentary connecting 2 things. So Hall of Fame Connections, 13-part YouTube series. I'm excited to watch this. I think I'm going to wait till it's all out and just binge the hell out of it. Each 2-part episode features a narrative storytelling element that weaves through the history of some of museum's most iconic artifacts and the Hall of Fame's curators conversing about those artifacts and stories with MLB Network personalities Carlos Pena and sports journalist Lindsey Berra, granddaughter of Hall of Fame catcher Yogi Berra. And support for the series was provided by Market New York Grant through I Love New York and New York State's Division of Tourism as a part of the Regional Economic Development Council initiative. To stay up to date with the release of each episode of Hall of Fame Connections, follow the Baseball Hall of Fame's social media channels at Baseball Hall on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So go check out Hall of Fame Connection YouTube series today. I think we'll put a link in the description when it's up. And this is the NL
We've got
recap.
Passing.
Yeah, we got the Hall. Passing.
Austin freaking Martin going to the Twins along with
Simeon Woods Richardson.
Woods Richardson. Austin Martin. I just pulled his card.
That's a pretty big haul. Everyone loved Martin. Vandy boys. Twins up.
Wow.
Yep.
Simeon Woods Richardson. What a name.
It's fun.
Wow.
Is he? Did they get him from the Mets and
I
something?
think he was in the Mets Stroman trade.
Stroman trade.
I believe.
I'm trying to think of which trade they were involved in together.
Hoorah! All right.
How about that?
Do
Here we
it,
go.
Jimmer.
The Dodgers went up to San Francisco and lost the series to the Giants. Urias pitched really well in Game 1, but Treinen, I believe, loses it for them down the stretch at the end of the game. Then the Dodgers blow him out in Game 2. Buehler deals. I believe he went 7 innings pitch, 0 earned runs. And in Game 5, they get to Price, and the Giants win the bookends and take the series. No player for either team recorded an extra base hit. Webb goes 6 innings pitch, 1 earned run. Cueto, 5.2 shutout innings. Buehler, 7 shutout. Pollock had 6 hits. Muncy had 6 hits. Dodgers aren't going to be starting Price much longer, I don't believe, with Kershaw and now Scherzer coming back. The Braves and the Mets played 5 games as the Mets still make up from all their rainouts and cancellations earlier in the year. They split the doubleheader, the Braves taking the first game 2-0. The Mets, Stroman pitched another doubleheader. The Mets taking the second game 1-0. And the Mets bullpen game 2 of the doubleheader. Pretty impressive job by the bullpen. And then the Braves won big in Game 3 with Morton getting the win and Eichhoff not doing well. Mets win Game 4 against Fried. Comes down to the rubber match. Game 5, Smiley versus Walker. The Braves win 6-3. Fried with a really good start. Brandon Drury's the fun story here. 7 hits with 3 extra base hits and 2 home runs despite only starting 1 game in the series. I believe he's 8 for 8 since getting called back up. Pretty insane. Conforto threw out the game-tying run at home plate in the 9th inning of Game 4. Pay him. I heard someone say it on the radio, so I just said it. I don't really know the parameters around it. The Reds took 3 out of 4 from the Cubs, who had way bigger things on their mind. Game 1 had some fireworks with Javi getting the walk-off fly out and then telling Amir Garrett to go sweep himself away. And then the Reds lose the next 3 games and they sell all their players and Cubs fans' hearts get broken. Votto, insane. 6 home runs, including 2 each in games 2 and 3, is now homered in 6 straight games. Kyle Farmer had 10 hits with 4 extra base hits and a home run. Winker with 8 hits, 5 extra base hits, and a home run. Rizzo, Wisdom, Contreras, 2 home runs each. A lot of trades. Good for the Reds. They take 3 out of 4. The Nationals and the Phillies split a series, and Phillies, what are you doing? You just split a series with the Mets, and you split a series with the Nats, and the Nats are selling all their pieces, and you guys are supposed to have an easy schedule and put yourself back into the race, and now you got to do better than split division opponents. The Phillies starting pitchers had a 10 ERA with a 1.5 ERA for the relievers. Kind of opposite of what you're used to there. Nationals had a 3.9 ERA, the starting pitchers, and their bullpen kind of blew it. McCutchen, Hoskins, Harper, 5 hits with multiple extra base hits each. McCutchen had 3 homers. Hoskins had 2. Josh Harrison had 8 hits and 6 extra base hits with a home run. And they're probably trying to trade him now if anyone wants a utility piece. Scherzer goes 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run in his final start as a Nat. Backyard Brad Miller hits a walk-off grand slam in Game 4. The Phillies come back from down 7-0 to win it and not lose the series. Strasburg's going to miss the rest of the season with thoracic outlet surgery. All right. Brewers sweep the Pirates. Get the job done. They hit really well. 5 home runs as a team, 16 extra base hits as a team. They win 9-0, 7-3, and 12-0. How about that? Offense putting up 28 runs or whatever that is, 38 runs in 3 games. Is it 38?
No.
28?
No, you're down. It's 28.
28. Wow. Still a lot of runs either way. Of the 10 Brewers to record over 3 at-bats in the series, 9 of them record 3 or more hits. How's that for a fun fact? Rodolfo Castro, 2 home runs for the Pirates. He becomes the first player in the modern era to have all 5 of his first career hits be home runs. Shit, that's fucking cool. Yelly placed on COVID IL. And that's your NL recap.
Nice, Jim. Did this guy really hit 5 homers for his first 5 hits?
Rodolfo Castro. That's what they're saying. And by them, I mean our stat guy.
Love that. Love that for him. That's kind of
Rodolfo.
exciting. How many at-bats does he have? That's interesting.
Yes, 5 hits, 5 home runs.
He has a 208 batting average, but a 1.1 OPS.
He's got
all that is
24 at-bats so
homers.
far, 26 plate appearances.
Interesting. Who do you want to start?
Good for the Reds. Good for the Brewers. Good for the Giants. I don't think the Dodgers still feel like they won the weekend because of the trade stuff, and their starting pitching and their whole lineup are going to look a lot different soon. So good for the Giants to win some, and then now it's going to be a fun stretch between those two. The Mets lose 3 of 5 to the Braves, and you would like it if the Phillies could take advantage of that, but they kind of don't.
Well, the Braves, this Braves season has been just a bummer. You know, we have a lot of friends on Braves Twitter, and they are 51-52. In theory, this 5-game set was important for them. You know, some of the playoff races we're talking about and some of these trade deadline pieces, Braves are 4 games back of the Mets. They take 3 of 5. Does it mean something? Not yet. What are the Braves going to do the rest of today? They already got young Jock as their rental. Is Jock going to get flipped again? Who knows? Phillies are 3.5 out. Braves are 4 out. So, man, I don't know. Mets, God, those NL East when we talked trade deadline, we talked all about these NL East contenders and who was going to make the move. And they were the quiet teams yesterday. Marlins sold, Nats sold, Mets, everyone had them circled for Chris Bryant. Jeff Passan has to fuck a cow or something if that happens. I have to check the tape on that.
You're going to have to check the tape on that.
We're going to have to check the tape on that. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, I do remember he said that.
Something. It was something
around
like that. We don't remember what it was.
If
The
who
guy drinks
sold?
Diet Mountain Dew.
What was,
so.
what was it again?
Marlins and Fish sold. He said Bryant to the Mets was the most likely trade.
Oh, yes.
And Bryant hasn't been moved yet. The Mets, I guess the Braves did Jock a couple days ago. Mets and Phillies, Dombrowski, that's the reason he's there.
Hey, you wanted Anderson.
They're
Lost.
yeah, they really almost got him. So interested to see what happens there. Brewers are nasty. And dude, Giants, we need to give them more love every episode.
If you're the Phillies,
Sure.
when's your window? If now's not your window, when's your freaking window? You need to go do something.
Guys, somehow
You're 3.5 games back. Backyard Brad saved the freaking season.
Somehow it seems like we missed this, but they did trade for Braden Ogle an hour ago. So let's not talk about them not acting.
In nobody's books.
Is he an infielder?
He's bookless.
He's a left-handed pitcher, so
He's bookless.
Yeah.
Brandon Ogle.
They need to go.
Does
They need
Braden
to go
Ogle.
do something.
Braden
'Cause
Ogle,
there's
not in my
just
book.
Nothing.
Neither's Brandon Ogle.
None of
No.
the
well, they
Ogle
traded
bros.
Abraham Gutierrez for him.
None of the Ogle bros.
There's just nothing stopping them from competing in the NL East. They go do something.
I know. Like, they're still getting chosen to win because they have an easy schedule and they have a lot of talent offensively.
And you brought in.
Why didn't they get Berrios?
Big Dick
why
Dave.
didn't they go? Why they should get
They don't have the prospects.
Yeah, I guess so. You need
Yeah, they do not have. That's the thing is they do not have prospects. Yeah.
And now the Mets debatably have an easier schedule. I think they have 11 more games with the Nats left, who have started trading everybody.
That opens things up a little bit. What a mess. Mets, load up and run away with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of rooting for the Mets just to
Load
go
up and run away
like
with
pole
it.
to pole. I don't know if they're pole to pole, but do it.
Get Kimbrel, Bryan, and Baez. Go nuts.
I want Baez to go somewhere. I want to see him in a different uni and like
bring him to the
showing out in
Reds.
the postseason.
Cause some mayhem.
Reds, A's.
Rizzo tried to fight Aroldis Chapman, and now they're teammates. Have Baez be teammates with the Reds. They need a shortstop. Do they still need a shortstop?
I want Baez to go to the Yankees. Can they do
Pick
that?
him up.
They don't really
Think
need
about
it,
that.
but they could do it.
Could really use a center fielder. Ian Happ.
Gallo can play center for them.
Yeah.
They need an
Probably will
outfielder.
play center.
One more outfitter would be cool, but
You don't want Javi Baez on your team?
Trev, stop bringing up the Yankees, dude. NL recap.
Yeah, Baez is on the Cubs. I don't know if you freaking know that.
I didn't know that.
What else we got here?
he's targeting pitching.
Talk more about the Giants. They beat the Dodgers. Again, 2 out of 3. We always expect.
And see, Rosie asked me, said, does the Scherzer Turner trade make the Dodgers the NL West like favorite? And yes. It does.
Yeah.
They're 2 games back. Like the Giants were in on Berrios, they were in on Scherzer. They just didn't pull the trigger on any of them. Like, I think you put this out there, Jim. Are they just gonna say like fuck it and like let's run with what we got?
The Giants?
Is that the team you were talking about? Maybe it wasn't you.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
know. There's a lot of fun storylines in the AL West for me. I like the joy part and the shoot and froggle part on both sides. Like, you know, if the Padres and Dodgers do all this shit chasing each other down and the Giants just win the division and then like beat them in the postseason, that's hilarious because they're kind of like
Very hilarious.
Not misfit, but the what's the word we've been saying?
Revamped.
They take players and revamp them. There's a term that people have said, and I can't think of it right now. But you know,
Ogle.
no, it's not. It's not like stars.
Reclamation
Giants. Yeah,
Reclamation
like
Giants.
we'll just take these guys that had no value and we'll turn them in. Like that's hilarious. If the Padres go and make all these moves and the Giants just go, okay, we'll make bigger, or the Dodgers go, we'll make bigger moves and then win. I kind of like that too. And if the Padres win, I really like that because they've been really great to the fan base. So there's not an outcome for me in the AL West that I can't spin as like, that's awesome. I'm so glad that that's the team that came out of top and won.
And it's going to be a matchup of 2 of them in the wild card game. So you play this whole season, make all these freaking moves. Imagine if the Giants win the division and then the Padres and the Dodgers make all these moves, sign all these big fucking free agents, and then have to play 1 game, dude. But then the Dodgers say, we got fucking Max Scherzer.
Yeah, he helps.
Is Scherzer now? Who pitches that game? Does Buehler pitch that game?
Whoever's hot.
Yeah, whoever's hot and I don't know, like the BVPs and all that stuff and matchups and all that.
Go all hands on deck.
This is the thing.
fun is
I'm
that?
assuming it's the race is going to come down to the last day, so they can't exactly like move their rotation around to make sure like they have someone lined up for the wild card game because they're going to be trying to chase down the division. So they might not even have a choice.
Doesn't matter. If they win it, then they got a great number 1 too. So for the next series,
Dodgers are so
Dodger
gross.
fans, if Kershaw has to start that game, it's going to be interesting to see how Dodger fans are like.
2 runners on in the first. Hold on to your butts. Holy smokes. Who else? I mean, hey, let's give some snaps to teams. Let's reverse engineer this a little bit. Marlins, Nats, straight up sold. We don't have to do like much dancing with them the rest of the way. Like,
Yeah.
appreciate you guys. Like, good job. Cubbies, you emptied the ship. You're going to do more emptying. Thank you. Rockies, Diamondbacks. You guys did your
What are
thing
the
a little while
Rockies
ago.
doing?
I don't want to talk about it. Okay, so
they're keeping
actually,
Gray.
I do. The John Gray stuff is actually really interesting. John Gray has been really good at Coors Field. He likes Denver. He's a starting pitcher who's quality that likes the Colorado Rockies, and he said, "I want to stay." And it's not like fan service, like I'm here for the team, whatever we need, and it's a business. He's like, "No, give me a contract and I'll stay." They're working on it. We'll see if they land there. And okay, that's fine. We've said this about the Rockies before. We said about Marquez. If you've got someone, lock them up, and because that's your constant hunt in that organization. I kind of get that, and they could throw him the qualifying offer at the end of the year. He probably takes it because that's probably more annually than he would get, but it's 1 year, and it's 1 year for a starting pitcher. Fine. The one that made me mad, and it's not because I took him in my Chris Rose rotation post-home run derby loopy draft, Daniel Bard, who was one of the most fun stories last year. He's back. He's pitching into a wall. He's throwing a hundo again. Let's go, Daniel Bard. The Rockies said he's off the table? He's 35 or 36 years old. What are you saving him for? That organization sometimes, man. That's why I left.
Now you're a Padres fan.
I float around.
No, he was trying. He was debating becoming a fan. I don't even want to say because I don't want to put the.
There's a
on him.
team recruiting me.
No, they're not.
There's a team recruiting me.
They're like they're
an NL team.
An NL team asking.
There's an NL team recruiting me right now.
I wouldn't say recruiting.
Yes.
I'm saying they're
There's
like
a cool nickname tied to it.
They're hesitantly like being like, "Don't, you're not doing this, right?" Don't.
No,
come our
that's
way.
what you said. The people are excited.
Well, I think it was
say
a
it.
third party, not the actual person.
We'll see.
But I could check the text.
We'll see.
NL.
Yeah,
No.
can't happen.
Excited.
Are they still in the race?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big team.
Big team. Big team. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. So good job, all the sellers. I think of the teams we didn't mention, I mean, St. Louis is kind of the only team in a weird area. I guess the Reds too, but I don't know. I don't know what you do there.
Yeah, what do the Reds do?
Go get Baez, have fun for half a year. 2 months.
They trade for guys like Luis Sessa.
Yeah.
They're 7 games back. What are they? They can't. What are they gonna do, man?
Hey, they had a good. They just won, you know.
How far back of the Padres are they? What's the NL wild card standings?
They're far.
Oh, they far.
They're 5 games back.
Filled.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. The hunt is on. Yeah, it's tough.
I don't think any hunts on.
It's tough.
Joey Votto's like single-handedly trying
Yeah.
to keep them in contention, and even 7 games with a home run in a row is not enough.
I got to give the chat some love because we touched on it and missed it. But Jill Hempel, one of our studs in the chat always. Baez and Garrett on the Reds. That'd be a good time.
Oh my gosh.
Get the social media team rolling that welcome party.
I didn't understand what was it a sweeping motion Baez was doing, or was it a rowing
Town
motion?
Crier situation developing.
Was I did a whole like 10 cent, like it wasn't even just like an aside. I literally
It's a Town Crier thing. We had better stuff going on. Jill
no
Hempel,
one was
good job.
listening. None. The 3 of you weren't listening.
When was this?
Like 10 minutes ago, I said that Baez should go to the Reds because Chapman, Rizzo tried to fight Aroldis
I
Chapman.
remember the Rizzo Chapman.
Oh,
thing.
that yes,
and
yes,
that
yes.
and Baez should go to the Reds because him and Amir can fight, and then you just send the Reds to all the
but
people that tried to
we
fight.
did it better. We talked about the social media team and how.
Well,
that
this is
actually
when we're
goes
talking
down.
about
Yeah.
it.
BBD's so happy you got Town Criered.
I'm so
You know the
happy.
feeling
Wow.
now. We have the feeling on tape. Wow.
It's just bizarre that all 3 of you,
That's how it happens to BBD,
I'm so
too.
confused right now. I am so confused.
when we started the NL recap, you said Baez should go to the Yankees. I said no, he should go to the Reds. So him and Amir Garrett have to hang out. I said they don't have a shortstop, right? And then I
Crier.
said Rizzo went to the Yankees. He tried to fight Aroldis Chapman, so the Cubs would just be sending their players.
Credit to Jill Hempel.
Yeah.
We've covered it.
Yeah.
Thank
Cubs
you,
are
Jill.
sending
I'm
their
on your side,
players
Jim.
to go squash their
I'm on your
beefs.
side, Jim. Everyone's saying, do you guys know the Jays got Berrios? Yes, we've already talked about that. And this is not that episode.
Another episode, do.
We do know. Austin Martin and Woods Richardson to the Twins. Huge haul.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Twins
it.
are
We'll
back.
talk about it when we cover it earlier, but early results. That's a crazy deal that the Twins made out pretty well there.
My Twins source apologized to me, which is not
That's
enough.
quick.
It's good. Just not enough.
Not enough. It's true. I wanted to break something this trade deadline season and it hasn't happened yet. It's tough.
How about the Brewers sweeping the Pirates? The Pirates aren't great, but the offense they put up when that's like, the side of the game that they need to quote unquote, get better at or whatever. 28 runs in 3 games. Again, it's the Pirates, but not everyone's doing that. The Pirates every time. So,
Dude, Rowdy Tellez has been going off for them, which that's going to be an interesting thing if the Brewers, Trev's little birdie said they are in on some big names still. We'll see what happens. Or do they brew crew it up and, Willie Adames and Rowdy Tellez and some of these trades that they made earlier, can that be what their analytics team pats themselves on the back that they didn't even have to get in the mud of this trade deadline? They already did their work. They found some guys and roll it out there. And they got Eddie Escobar, our dude.
Eddie Escobar.
I think, it's interesting because you have some teams not caring about their farm system whatsoever. I feel like the Dodgers are just like, screw it. They traded their number 1 prospect, right, to get Turner and Scherzer.
They traded their number 1
One
and
and
their
2.
number 2 in the same trade, which is
1 and
kind of
2.
rare. But yeah, they have a stacked system, and they believe in their development to just draft and trade and get more.
Yeah, so I hope the Brewers do something big. Like when they brought CC over for that year, how cool was that, dude? Like
It's one of my favorite stretches of like any baseball player.
Yeah, is there like a 30 for 30 on that yet?
We're doing it.
That's pretty cool. Anything else in the NL that we need to discuss? It is kind of hard to keep it to just on the field when it's all about trade deadline thoughts.
I know. Sorry, guys.
And there's a huge IL coming. Get the people excited for that.
Let's do the AL. Jake, you ready?
I think so.
Here we go.
Trevor Plouffe Astros go to Seattle, and the Astros take 2 out of 3. And boy, Mariners fans are mad at the Astros even more than usual after taking a couple of their relievers. 11-8 Mariners in the first one. How's your hitting? McCagan versus Garcia, that's fun. But the Astros took the second 2. McCullers and our guy, Jake Odorizzi. They knock around Kikuchi a little bit. Astros hit .333 as a team this series. 575 slugging, ridiculous. 6 homers, 17 extra base hits. Astros are nasty. Kyle Lewis supposed to come back soon for the Mariners, and same with Alex Bregman. He started a rehab assignment. The Mariners win was a fun one in Game 1. That was when they were down 7-0. They rally. Go check out the breakdown ad. Red Sox and Blue Jays, they split 4. Red Sox win 5-4. Nick the Dick Pivetta. Thomas Hatch was on the bump for the Blue Jays. Early settler name, a classic. And then they do a doubleheader, and they split 4-1. Shake hands. Each game, 4-1. Problem solved. Blue Jays blow them out. Ryu on the mound. Erod. Oh, no. Blue Jays won 13-1 in the final game. Verdugo, 5 hits. He's starting to get going. We saw him get his third in the Yankee series. Devers just doesn't stop. No Red Sox starter went 5 innings. Yeah. We'll see what they do the rest of today. Yankees went to Tampa Bay, and they took 2 out of 3 in the Trop. Game 1, they won 4-3. Jordan Montgomery pitching really well for the Yanks lately. He battled through 5 innings, and then Penn did the rest from there. Game 2, they go to extras. Yankees win 3-1. They take the series. Garrett Cole for the sweep. Get this Yankee season really going. Joey Gallo, Anthony Rizzo. They get rocked. 14-0. Rays beat up Cole in the first inning. They get him in his final inning. The Yankees, they are not a momentum team, or at least that was the old Yankees. We'll see if my Paisans can change things. Pete Fairbanks, my dude, he goes to the IL. Hate that. They traded Castillo. The Rays are sick. I'm over it. Yankees win the series. Tigers take 2 out of 3 from the Twins. Twins, they win the first game in extra innings, 6-5. Tigers, they win the second game in extra innings. They go 11 that one, also 6-5, and then 17-14 in the final. You pulling a prank on me, Max? A little football score. We're getting ready for football season. Talking Giants, how about that? Clearly a lot of offense in that final game. How's 11 home runs for the Twins in a 3-game set that they lose 2 of the games? Keep selling, Minnesota. Keep selling. Reset. Akil Baddoo. He's still at it, man. Good for him. Royals take 3 out of 4 from the White Sox in the final AL on AL series. Royals take game 1 minor versus Keuchel 4-3. White Sox, Dylan Cease, you're going to hear his name a lot when they talk about prospect trades. He was in the Quintana trade with Eloy a couple years back that now has them stacked and ready to go. But the Royals, 3-2, 5-0. Good for them. They don't hit much this series, but they hit better than the White Sox, who hit 168. I don't like that. Michael A. Taylor, will he be traded today? Walk-off single in the 10th inning of Game 3 after Salvi Perez hit the big game-tying homer in the ninth. Brady Singer, he's going to start a rehab assignment soon. So how about that? Royals take 3 out of 4, and that's what happened in the American League.
Very nice. Nicely done. What stood out to you the most?
My baby calls me the most. I mean, it's probably, and people hate it, Yankees Rays. I mean, we do have to look at the Yankees through a slightly different scope now because they traded for 2 of the better left-handed hitters in the game, and they, outside of that atrocious Red Sox series where they should have at least split, they could have won 3 out of 4 pretty easily. Instead, they lose 3 out of 4. They've been playing a decent brand of winning baseball for a while. They make some moves in the Trop, which had been a house of horrors for them. They win the series. They obviously don't keep momentum going, but, I mean, the Yankees now, Gallo's going to be here next year. Rizzo's the pure rental. They're in. We'll see if they make noise by the end of today, but the Yankees are going to be a part of the conversation the rest of this season, which we did not know of that as of a week ago.
They hope. The pitching's been carrying them
Good.
for a little bit, which is now they have the
Pitching's been
offense.
good.
So. Good games. I mean, I don't know what the Rays are doing. The Rays are confusing me more than they've ever confused me. Not that I'm like losing faith or whatever, but like I have no idea what the fuck the Rays are doing. They're trading away. Are they the only team that's like? When's the last time a team that's first place in their division and looking like a playoff favorite has traded away the guy that's gotten the second most starts for them in the season? And I know Rich Hill, they can afford to lose him, but still just the optics of it. Like, when's the last time a team that's about to win the division or in a pennant race traded away a guy that's been getting saves for them and starts for them? Top 3 games in games started and top 2 in saves. And they traded him away. Like, it has to be the first time that's ever happened.
It sounds only like the Rays could pull that off. There's no other team. They're like, oh yeah, that doesn't even seem feasible for any other team. But Rays gonna Ray, baby.
And by the way, they snuck one of the early trades by us this morning. They got Sean Armstrong, a reliever from the Orioles.
It's true.
A guy who was lights out in 2020. He's been terrible this year. Sprinkle a little Rays pixie ducks on him. I wouldn't be surprised if he's racking up saves for the Rays soon, because that's how they.
Did you say pixie duck?
Little pixie ducks.
Yeah,
that's new. You're the first person that's probably ever said those 2 words back to
Pixie
back.
ducks.
yeah.
Be a good team name.
You guys want to hear a stat? I mean,
I love
did you
stats.
read the stat about the Twins?
No.
No,
What about him?
You didn't read that one?
we could have. Currently,
You got to tell me the
They
stat
hit
first.
7 homers.
What's that?
They hit 7 home runs. The Tigers hit 0 home runs. and they lost that game.
Mm.
It's the most Twins thing to happen all year.
The
First game in MLB history where one team had 7 more home runs than their opponent, but still lost. They scored 7. Tigers scored 17 runs without hitting a single fucking home run. That's insane.
That is insane.
Twins, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Minnesota.
do we want to?
Sorry for how this year went.
The Tigers are really fun. They're playing really well. There's articles about them now coming out saying like the Tigers are good and they're fun and all that. They are going to get lost in the shuffle because they're not a playoff team and they're not in the race of any sort. So I feel like on this show we may in the last 2 months not be talking about the Tigers as much as Tigers fans want us to, because it is good what they're doing, and I think they're building a lot of momentum to next year, kind of regardless of results the rest of the way. Like, just in performances you want to track, but yeah, the Tigers are getting a lot of love right now.
I think our fun way to track the Tigers, because I do think it's going to matter to them. They're chasing the future Cleveland Guardians right now. They're 3 games back of Cleveland for second in the AL Central, and if you told Tigers fans that this team was going to finish second in the Central this year, kind of what does that mean? Not too much. But for that team to be young and, hey, AJ Hinch, we talk about managers. He deserves some love, a lot of these young players. So, yeah, they are one of the teams that's – are they the only team that's not playing for something but kind of playing for something?
Let's see. I have all the teams that are out. The Mariners, I would put, but they're like playing for the wild
They're
card.
still like in it.
But even if the Mariners were,
they're 2.5
but even if
back.
the Mariners were 6
If
games
they drop,
out,
yeah.
they're still playing for culture and momentum and next season. But how many teams? So the good question is, how many teams are out still have like a fighting spirit the last 2 months? Twins, no.
Twins, no.
Royals,
Angels.
Royals, kinda. Angels, maybe. I don't know.
St. Louis, I feel like they're always going to try.
I think Cardinals fans still think they're fighting for something.
They're 7.5 back. No, they're 9.5, I believe, out of the division. They're not fighting for anything. Although Jay Flair will be back soon.
Our boy.
Looking good in the minors too, right? You have a good outing.
He always looks good. He says he's feeling really good. So I think that they'll still be competitive. I think Philly will still be competitive just because they have a. I don't understand how Philly isn't better. I don't understand it. I know they're 500 ball club right now, but I mean the roster on paper is really good, and it just hasn't translated.
Go win 7 in a row.
A lot of people are blaming it on the infield.
Backyard Brad.
Backyard Brad hits bombs sometimes.
He's fun.
Huh? Fun player.
It's fun. I hope he gets a fun little payday this offseason.
I have a question.
A little 2 for 16.
I do too.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When does Sale come back?
Chris Sale.
Yeah, for the Red Sox. We're doing AL, right?
Yes. I know he threw an actual rehab start.
Yes.
Let's see. There's an MLB.com article titled "Ace on the Way." Sale, a deadline edition.
Ace on the way. Ace on the way.
That's cool. I can't wait to see him back with that team. That's going to be
Well,
a lot
they
of
need
fun.
help. Their starting pitching hasn't been good of late.
Well, there was a rule change or a rule enforcement that's caused a lot of people to not be as good.
In I'm doing a little turkey math here. I'm going to add the Rays to it, even though you can't, because I'm trying to look at in the AL East what in the last 30 days, what team starters have been the best. But like the Rays, you can't really do this because the Blue Jay starters have been good. That's the other flip side. And now they're adding Berrios, who doesn't fully scare me, but he's having a good season.
So let's see. Sale.
He's another. I'll go. While you guys are doing this math, Berrios, similar to a Luzardo situation where he's got all the talent in the world. Twins couldn't figure out a way to make him like an ace like everybody thought he could be. And the Blue Jays might be able to do that. But the guy's got to freaking
The
stuff.
Blue Jays have had some people like Robbie Ray and Steven Matz have come over and then refound it or done better in ways. So
Blue Jays fans speak very highly of their pitching coach, which is that's kind of rare.
it's like Astros and Blue Jays.
Normally that's a good scapegoat on a team. So we'll see. Let's see.
Twins territory is always talking about Berrios needs to work more north and south. He's very much a horizontal pitcher. All different sides of the zone, just not top and bottom. So maybe that's what they'll work on with him, changing the eye levels and stuff. But I still believe he's a guy.
It looks like
I know I've been saying that for a while.
Chris Sale has had 3 rehab appearances.
Braves hit the pass in.
Pass in.
Braves get Eddie Rosario. My guy going to the Braves.
I love it. Rental season in Atlanta. They're not giving away big prospects. Slap it around.
What? What? What was that? Say that again?
Eddie Rosario to the Braves, right?
That's what people are saying in our chat. I'm looking for the tweet. I haven't seen the tweet yet.
The chat monster got us.
It is like everyone in the chat saying it, so I'm inclined to think they didn't.
And you know what?
Bias. Robert Murray tweeted it.
If they teamed up that well to trick us, I'd give them credit.
It is for
Eddie Rosario to the Braves for Pablo Sandoval.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Wait, what's wrong? Did you guys want him?
No, that's just 2 GMs doing shit because they feel like everyone else is doing shit. Literally, that's 2 GMs that like everyone else just kept putting them on hold, and they were like, "Hey, who's here?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm here." They must have kicked me out too. Like, you want to make a move? Yeah, let's make a move. Everyone's making moves. Okay. Who do you got? Well, I got Pablo. Who do you got? Well, we got Rosario as a rental. Sure, let's swap them. Like, well, that doesn't do shit for either team.
Let's not go that far.
Dude, that is just a move to make moves. Pablo.
So it's a salary.
Why?
dump.
I know it's just a move to make moves.
I mean, Braves get Eddie Rosario. Eddie Rosario's been a solid MLB corner outfielder.
Yeah, the Braves
for
are
a
the
while.
one. The Braves are trying to get better. I don't know what the Indians are doing. They don't. Whatever.
They're just dumping salary.
Not like Rosario's having a good year.
He's not having a great
No,
year.
but I mean, he's had a really nice major league career.
It's true.
So he turns it on in Atlanta for a couple
For
months.
Pablo, dude. How is Pablo still a salary
That's
dump guy?
hilarious.
That's insane.
That's hilarious.
I'm looking at splits now with Eddie. Okay, not great splits either.
Like, if
way.
you're an
So,
Indians
look,
fan,
maybe-
you're like, oh, someone called about a rental we have? We can get prospects? No.
No.
We're just...
Uh-oh.
Miami Marlins are close to trading outfielder Adam Duvall to the Atlanta Braves.
I love it.
Ran into Duvall as an option yesterday. I like that one
I
more.
love it, Atlanta. They're getting rentals, which corner outfield rentals are super cheap, as we see with Pablo Sandoval. And good. Adam Duvall has a hot month or 2 like he did in 2020 that gave him an incredible season. That can change something, but I don't know, man. What a ridiculous sport.
All right, Trev, you are the most
Yeah.
outside looking in at the AL East on the show. In the last 30 days, for the Red Sox, it's 24 games. For the Blue Jays, it's 22. For the Yankees, it's 21. And for the Rays, it's 21. What starting staff do you think has the worst ERA and the best ERA or whatever?
Well, I saw you put something out about the Yankees. I think the Yankees have had the best.
Yeah.
And then I believe the Red Sox have had the worst.
The Rays have had the worst.
Interesting.
And the Rays actually have the innings like of starters, which is also interesting. The Rays have had 124 innings from their starting staff, which is the same as the Red Sox. And you would think the Rays would have less because they bulk and open more. The Rays have a 4.35 ERA last 30 days, and the Red Sox have a 4.13. Yanks 3.43 and Rays 3.78. But I don't think that's how you would just think of those staffs. Red Sox staff would start to worry me if Sale doesn't come back and be the ace, and that's a lot to ask out of a Tommy John injury return guy. He is Chris Sale, and people have been doubting his motion and his health forever, so I wouldn't put it past him. But I would guess the Red Sox are going to trade for a pitcher. Like Gibby's out there. I would think the Red Sox.
If there's a team you circle for Gibby right now, it's Boston.
Boston, yeah.
Blue Jays made the move for Berrios.
Yes.
The Gibby, man.
I'm looking at the Red Sox starters.
FaceTime
right now.
Gibby.
Eovaldi's still doing this thing.
Let's get Gibby on here right now.
Full pension Piv has kind of come back down to earth a little bit, sporting the 4.5. He's still got the 1.03 ERA plus, but he was better earlier in the season. And Richards is kind of wasn't there one? And I like Garrett a lot. I really like him. I don't want this to come off like I'm bashing him, but didn't he earlier in the season come out and say I figured out how to pitch? Was he on a really hot stretch?
I don't know. I know Red Sox fans were kind of done on him. I think there was some Carabas send him to the moon type stuff. And
who's that?
And then I think Garrett Richards. And then I think he must have had a nice stretch because I saw a lot of Red Sox Twitter saying okay, so are we back on the Richards train?
He did. Yeah, he had a couple really. His April wasn't very good, and then his May was really good, and then that's it.
Okay. Anything else in the AL that we missed?
This is turning into a hybrid pod of recaps.
Hybrid pod.
Impossible to
This time of year.
for it not to be, I think.
I'm ready for the IL if you are.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm still doing so much stupid math that I shouldn't be doing, but I'm interested in it. No, we got one more in.
Awards. But first, the Interleague by Trevor Plouffe.
Bom, 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 bom.
All right, my Oakland A's went down to San Diego and they split the series 7-4 Padres in Game 1, 10-4 A's in Game 2. Both teams hit the ball pretty well. The starters for both teams did not do the job. Machado 3 hits, including a go-ahead 3-run Jimmy Jack in the 5th inning of Game 1. Tatis hits his NL-leading 31st homer, and it was a bomb. I don't know if you guys saw that one. Sean Manaea goes 6-1 hit shutout innings with 9 freaking Ks in Game 2, and Chapman and Murphy had 3 hits with a homer each. Oakland and the Padres split the series. Moving on, the Cardinals go into town to take on the Indians, and they split the series 4-2 Cardinals in Game 1, 7-2 Indians in Game 2. Ramirez, who could be on the move. Hopefully, I would like to see him being moved. Probably not going to happen because he's so damn good with options. He homers in each game. Franmil Reyes, 2 homers in Game 2. Might be hearing about him a little bit later. Harrison Bader with 3 extra base hits. Dijon, go-ahead 2-run homer in the 7th inning of Game 1. And Bueno, 7 innings pitched, 2 earnings for the win in Game 1. I want to talk about that afterwards. There was something really cool that happened between him and Yachty. Bad news for the Cardinals, and then followed with some good news. Arenado exits Game 2 with the bruised right forearm, but Jack Flaherty, the Dark Knight, pitches 2 scoreless innings in his rehab start, and Aaron Civale is transferred to the 60-day IL. Not the Indians' year this year. They split the series with the Cardinals. Moving on, Jake's former team, the Rockies, go into Anaheim, and the Angels take 2 of 3. 6-2 Angels, 12-3 Rockies, 8-7 Angels. Angels starting pitchers pitched to a 4.41 ERA. Rockies 4.05 ERA. Not great for either team. Ohtani, though, let's talk about this freaking guy. 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run in Game 1. Then he has 4 hits in the series, including 2 homers, his 36th and his 37th. That's freaking incredible. Tapia, we love this guy. 7 hits with 2 extra base hits and 3 RBIs. Brendan Rodgers, 2 freaking homers. Former teammate of mine, Philly Gosselin, go-ahead RBI, single in the 8th inning of Game 3. Jared Walsh is placed on the 10-day IL, and Trout is encouraged by the results of his MRI, but he's still on that IL. Angels take 2 or 3 for the Rocks. Moving on, it's the D-backs going into Texas to face the Rangers. They split the series 5-4 Rangers in game 1, 3-2 D-backs in game 2. Both offensive struggles, which means the pitchers did pretty damn good. Nate Lau, 3 hits and 3 RBIs. Only player with 3 hits in the series, and just 4 players recorded multiple hits. Gallo, 3-run home run before he gets shipped off to the freaking Yanks. Dane Dunning, 6 in the 3rd inning, 2 earned runs in game 1. Lyles and Bumgarner both go 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. That boy Bum, way to go. Jake's Dalton Varsho hits the go-ahead homer in the 8th inning, though, of game 2. Split the series, D-backs and Rangers. Moving on, and I believe this is the last series. It is Marlins going up into Baltimore. That is a weird freaking interleague series right there. They split the series, 7-3 Marlins in game 1, 8-7 Orioles in game 2. The starting pitchers tough in this series. 7.56 for the Marlins. Orioles with a 13.5. Owie. Trey Mancini, 3 extra base hits, though, including a home run. Ryan McKenna with the walk-off walk in game 2. It still feels good. Doesn't matter, it's just a walk. So shout out McKenna. And then Cooper undergoes season-ending surgery to repair a UCL tear Chisholm. Might not need a rehab assignment before returning, so that's good news for the Marlins. They split the series with the Orioles, and that is what happened with the IL games.
We're so close.
There's just
Close
not
only
enough-
counts in
there's
horseshoes and hand grenades.
It wasn't that close.
On the bar, it looked closer. I like when it finishes.
Let me talk about Waino Yachty.
Okay.
Just real quick, because I saw this on Twitter. Waino 2 strikes a guy, freaking throws the banger in the dirt, strikes him out. Yachty has to block the ball, but it looks like Yachty's fucking sleeping back there with how easy he made this look. And the guy pointed out, he goes, "This is what happens when you work together with someone for 13 freaking years." Waino throws a curveball. Yachty sees where it comes out of his hand, knows exactly where it's going to go. He literally just put his glove in the dirt, and the ball just ever so slightly touched it, rolled right in front of him. You have to see the video. It's hilarious. They have been working together for so long. Name another pitcher catcher that have been doing that.
Where do I find the video?
Just like that.
Bill Dickey and Whitey
Oh,
Ford.
man. It was just on Twitter somewhere.
Okay.
It's hilarious. It's an after show thing.
Okay.
But
After show
It's
thing.
an after show.
pretty
thing.
cool to see them do that.
Hey, I had an interesting thought while I was hearing you do this recap, Trev.
Interesting.
How many teams are just completely on the sideline during this trade deadline like the Orioles? They're not selling. They're not
Holding up.
buying. I was like, man,
They sold.
who'd they trade?
They're
They
playing.
sent a pitcher to the
They
Rays this
traded
morning.
Armstrong to the Rays. There were some Mancini tweets this morning.
Oh, so that's the Mancini watch a little bit. Well, yeah, Armstrong to the Rays. But it's been the best deadline. MLB fans are talking about how this is the craziest deadline in years. This is so much fun. How many teams are just completely, obviously, not getting heartbroken, but also not getting overjoyed by anything either. Just the Mets haven't done anything yet, but they want to. They're
Right.
watching. Orioles fans probably aren't
Yeah, I
even
don't-
refreshing Twitter. They're like, whatever.
The Angels haven't done anything, right?
I guess that's true.
And they're not really selling. They're looking for. I heard that Raisel Iglesias might be on the block.
He's the consolation prize to Kimbrel right now.
That'd be a good one. Yeah, get him. How about the other Iglesias? that
Cardinals
played?
are
Yeah,
kind of.
St.
Cardinals
Louis
are just
is
sitting
in,
pat.
they're in the weirdest funk area for me. They've underachieved. You can't buy, you can't sell. You wait for Flaherty to come back. They're just in the gray.
The biggest series here, the only series here that has impact on standings is the A's and Padres, and they split the 2 games, so they don't have any impact on standings. They leave the same way they came.
What were you going to say about the Marlins-Orioles series?
That's fun. I think there's a lot of
Strange,
kinship
right?
in those 2 fan bases watching this.
A lot of firm
I think there's a lot of we're the real ones.
Yeah.
We don't need our teams to be good to watch
Ooh,
this. They have a sense of pride.
they're both up and coming teams. I mean, they've had all the draft picks and they've had the time to struggle. Now, like it's their window's coming. I think the Marlins have navigated those waters much better than the Orioles have. Although the Orioles have some guys.
Marlins are going to be
in their system.
Marlins are going to be a sexy offseason team name. A lot of young, talented pitchers.
They got a lot of pitchers. They got to get some.
Oh my God!
Some playboys, some players.
D-backs, Rangers. Both teams hit under 200 for that series. That's tough.
Get Gibby out of there.
He's going. There's teams that need him.
Boston, San Diego. Where's Gibby going to end up?
It's
I hope he's
a lot
in
of
San Diego.
Phillies talk with him
Okay,
right now.
BBD.
How much do the Mets feel the pressure now from the Braves? I mean, the Braves, not big, crazy moves, but they just completely revamped their outfield. Duvall, Rosario, and Jock. Is that their outfield?
I think so. And I mean,
Where's Christian Pache?
couple of those guys have serious platoon numbers, so Atlanta can play that game. And it's been an awful year for Atlanta. We've talked about it. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. But I love it. I mean, they essentially give up nothing to get 3 major league outfielders that you like in your lineup on a day-to-day basis because, like we've talked about, this is supposed to be a massive window for them, and next year it will reset and be, they'll get their 162, but at least they're fighting a little bit. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to get Voit. They didn't have to get Duvall. They didn't have to get Jock. They didn't have to...
If you're the Indians, man? How do you you're such assholes to your fan base.
Oh, I'll text Rosie. Tell him congrats on Pablo.
Even if you got a prospect back, because it's only a true rental for Rosario who's not having a good season. So you're not going to get a lot back for him at all. But even if it's a lottery ticket 19-year-old kid in high A that's not doing great in high A, but at least there's a sprinkle of miracle chance he can help the Indians in the future, because if he fucking blows up, you get 5 years of him or maybe even 2 years of him. But instead, you just take on Pablo's salary. They're such assholes to their fan base.
Guardians, bro. Sucks.
They need Jason Kipnis.
That team was
back.
stacked. That sucks.
We'll take on Pablo's contract and
What's Pablo's? Is he still getting the
No,
Boston
I think
contract?
he was $1 mil. I think he was $1 mil flat, and I think every day Eddie was $7 or $8 mil. So Cleveland probably ends up saving $2 million or something like that for the rest of the year.
Eddie was on the books for 8, Pablo for 1.
they're so mean to their
Math pod.
fans. Pablo. Tell me you have a 19-year-old one-handed kid, and I'd be more happy than just taking Pablo's contract for 2 months.
Who's your 26-year-old sidewinder reliever in Double-A? Let's find out.
Yeah. You got a kid who thinks he can be a knuckleballer? Give me him instead of Pablo.
It's not like they're trying to win this year. We said it
That's
from
what
the
I'm saying,
get-go.
Trev. Get someone that may be able to help you in 5 years.
Well, they know they're done. They know they're done this year. Yeah, I don't know. It's that the whole year for them. We knew they weren't really trying to compete. Obviously, you're not trying to compete when you ship off Lindor like that. And then they kind of came out of the gates hot. Their pitching helped them a little bit. Then some guys got hurt, and then the season's lost. And now you're doing stuff like
giving
this.
players away for free.
Man. Braves lineup right now: Jock, Albies, Freeman, Young, Thick, Dansby, Duvall, Vote, and right now they have Heredia in center. Eddie Rosario is on the IL as of right now, strained ab. I think that happened on Monday, so we'll see when he's back. But they got a little bit of a lineup now. It's a different team. That's a different team.
I don't mind Pablo.
Okay.
What do you mean? It doesn't do anything for him, though. You could just say,
I know.
you'd have the
but
same
we're
reaction
talking
if
a lot
you
of
just
crap
gave him
about
away
Pablo.
for
I
free.
just want to say, he's had some good moments in his career. Some really
I'm not
good
knocking
moments.
Pablo Sandoval. I'm knocking the Cleveland Indians for being rude to their fan base.
Trading their rental for another rental.
Basically saying someone called about Eddie Rosario and we gave him away for free.
They got $2 million.
Yeah. I mean, even like the Cesar Hernandez one, they got, what's that, Pinkerton or whatever his name is?
Pilkington.
What was his name? It's some
Connor Pilkington.
Pilkington. Yeah, Connor Pinkleton. Who's not like an amazing prospect, but who knows?
Hey.
That dude could turn out to be something. There's no...
Maybe
there's
they
no...
trade J-Ram now.
Hey, J-Ram.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I would love for him to
That
go
would
to the
be-
Braves. Maybe this was like a little, hey,
Ooh,
we'll do this, but we
appetizer.
want J-Ram.
That would be a good...
I've been calling for that all year.
That would be a good... Like, we're looking for the cherry on top this deadline. Like, we're expecting Gibby, Bryant, maybe Baez, Trevor Story. If a J-Ram blockbuster could sneak out, that would be, like, easily the best deadline ever. We might already be there, but that would do it.
Hey, better team name, Guardians or Pixie Ducks?
Pixie Ducks.
The Pixie Ducks?
You can go a lot of ways.
Sounds like an acid trip.
Pixie Ducks.
I'm imagining the logo right now.
I have them as a 11 and under youth soccer team.
11. That's like a 7 and under.
Okay. Stay away from my 11 under youth soccer team.
The Pixie Ducks.
Reminds me of Jake's Dixie Chicks cover band.
Yeah.
The Chicky Dicks.
Chicky Dicks.
I love the Dixie Chicks.
Who doesn't love the Dixie Chicks?
Well, they got
Republicans?
shunned
Yeah.
from country music because they said something about George Bush, I believe.
Yeah. Said they're embarrassed that he was from Texas.
While we're covering everything.
Did you
right now.
guys know? How about this Dixie Chicks fact?
Yeah,
Wanna
I
hear
love
one?
Dixie Chicks
Yes.
facts.
And we could get into
right.
words.
They had a other singer before they brought on the one that everyone knows as their singer, and she was actually, I believe, their manager's daughter. And he was like, "Hey, my daughter can sing." And they're like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And then she like came out and like obviously is incredible, and they became the Dixie Chicks.
Similar topic. I want to give a shout out to Alyssa Nair, the U.S. women's goalie. Penalty kicks this morning. She stoned 2 kicks. Stratford CT raise up. Love that.
Oh, a CT
Yup.
woman.
Yup.
Jake, may I have some juice?
Now we've covered all the baseball.
As we pivot to... No, actually, before we pivot to awards, we have to do the stimulation simulation.
Oh, smokes. After the deadline?
Yes.
Ooh, BBD. BBD.
All right, this is your postseason stimulation simulation, BBD. The American League wild card has the Oakland A's going to Tampa for like the 6th week in a row. Who wins? Oakland at Tampa.
Rays.
Wow. Wow, even after Chafin and Marte. Okay. Divisional series has the White Sox going to Boston right now.
White Sox.
Tampa Bay, after winning the wild card, would go to Houston.
Houston.
Wow. CS right now would be Chicago White Sox versus the Houston. That is the old managers who don't like each other bowl.
Houston.
Ooh, wow. Houston in the World Series. Okay, in the NL, you have the Padres going to L.A. Scherzer on the bump
LA.
now? Okay, wow. Wow. You have the Mets going to Milwaukee.
Mets.
Okay.
Whoa.
Series.
Whoa.
What a series.
And then in the other divisional series, the Dodgers are going to the Bay Area.
Dodgers.
Wow.
The NLCS would be Mets versus Dodgers.
Dodgers.
Wow, so you have Dodgers versus Houston in the World Series, and your July 30th simulation World Series champions are...
The Dodgers.
Wow.
They made the big trade.
Yeah,
I
it might
think
be
this
the
is
big
the
trade
first.
from yesterday.
This is the first time an NL team has won the simulation, and the Dodgers, obviously.
Wow.
Cool. Wow.
Wow. We got a few more passings.
Yeah.
Going on. Daniel Norris of the Tigers, a surfer. He likes to be remote in his van. Nice guy. He actually follows me on Instagram. So shout out
So
Daniel
nice of
Norris.
him.
Going to the Brew Crew. Going to the Brew Crew.
You know what?
I don't know.
You know
how
what?
they're gonna
I
use
was
him,
like-
but I like it.
It's kind of like this is. I don't know if this deserves passing and all that, but you say Brew Crew, and then I kind of like it for some reason.
Right, they know something.
They're the odd team that takes up Drew Pomerantz, puts him in the pen, and now he's like a big reliever. Like they're like the Brew Crew of the team when they go get a pitcher. You're like, okay, well, that might work.
Passing.
Oh,
Not
Okay.
a new thing. Just passing said relief market this afternoon is going to be completely bonkers.
who said that?
Passing.
Nice.
I'm gonna reply. Good tweet.
I mean, Daniel Norris has had a. Love you, Daniel. He's had a really bad year this year. So I don't know. I mean, what do they know? Curious.
And I like to get a jab in at the big prospect huggers when I can. Daniel Norris was a huge prospect. Just kind of hasn't clicked.
Dude.
It's a tough sport.
I've said this about the draft. Like, go back and look at the draft, and you covet these guys. None of them. I mean, very few work out. That's just it's a
There's some
numbers game.
tweet.
It's just not.
Someone had it that like prospects that get traded at the deadline, like in the last couple of years, it was like less than 10% fulfill their service time. Like they play in the league for 5 years. Prospect huggers weird me out, man.
It's
I understand there's
straight up lottery
value.
tickets.
Like when the Dodgers trade their 2 highest value chips in the same trade, that's usually not the best way to use prospects. But
If you're a fan, you have like 1 or 2 guys down there you like and value. But
Trev, baseball is a hard sport. You know how many players fulfill their service time? Not a lot. Like, not a lot. So trade prospects for pieces that you think will win. Good job by you, Trev. Norris hasn't been as bad as his ERA suggests. I mean, he had a tough start, but he's had a lot of good outings and a lot of holds. The ERA is awful, but when the game log isn't as bad as the ERA suggests.
I was looking at his whip also, but I guess it's not too far off from like his career. So I was gonna say this: go back and look at your team's top prospect charts 10 years ago and then 5 years ago, and you're like, oh,
It's a fun game.
I like that game a lot.
so that's go make your major league team better.
Go make your major league team better. Yes, I agree. Okay, good job by the Dodgers winning the World Series on July 30th.
Yeah. Big trade, put him over.
And let's get into the second half of the show, which is individual awards. We will continue to hit the passing button if we get news and react to it. If you're just joining now, we are going to be live after the deadline to fully recap all the trades once they're all done as well. And all the trades that already happened before today, we talked about on yesterday's show. So go check that out as well if you're interested in looking for that. The awards today are brought to you by a show on the JOMBOY Network called Sequence. You guessed it. We're talking about Sequence, hosted by big leaguer Trevor Plouffe. Trev, do you know how the ad team wrote up your show? You want to hear it?
I'm
In each episode, Trevor takes us through a detailed analysis of some of the best plays and biggest at-bats from Major League Baseball. He's had incredible guests like Yelich, Andrew McCutchen, Lucas Giolito, and so many more talk about what was going through their minds during the biggest moments of their career. New episodes are released every Tuesday and every other Thursday on the JOMBOY Media YouTube channel, JOMBOY Media Facebook, and everywhere else you listen to podcasts. So go check out Trevor Plouffe's show, Sequence. Would you say that's a fair description of your show?
Thank you. It is. Thank you very much. My latest episode is with Machado and Hosburn, a beautiful play that they choreographed together.
They choreographed a play together? Now I'm interested.
No, that's not the right word, but you know what I'm
Thought
talking
about
about.
it.
They did it together. They were in the play together.
Standout performances. I'm breaking my rule,
Ooh.
but not really. I'm going to a position player, Joey Votto. And he did have multiple home runs in the game, which is what, if I choose a position player, guy have 2-homer game. But we're going to expand a little bit here because what Joey Votto's doing is insane. He's got 6 games in a row with a home run. Man, it's nuts. I mean, in his first 67 games started, he hit 12 home runs. 67 games started, I believe 68 games. In his last 6, he has hit 8 home runs. He's about to set a record, I believe. I think it's 11 home runs in a row, 11 games in a row with a home run as a record by Don Mattingly, I believe. I know Tino Martinez did 10 in like 2004. I think Don Mattingly has the record, but Votto's had 2 multi-homer games here, so there's got to be
Mattingly's with 8. Him and Griffey.
8. Okay, so Tino must have had like 6 or just like right on there. So 8 straight games. So he's close to that, Votto. Who do they play today? And I wonder if any of those guys in those 8 games had multi-homers, because he currently has 8 in 6 games. I wonder what the most in the shortest span is. You know what I mean?
Trev, tell him the Votto quote that he said the other day that I know you loved. You tweeted about it.
He basically said the difference is I'm trying to hit homers. That's the difference.
The old Wade Boggs, Ted Williams. Like, well, if I want to hit homers, I can. You want to see? There's stories about both those guys telling reporters, why don't you hit home runs? And they're like, oh, I'll hit a home run today. And then they went and hit 2 home runs, and they're like, but I don't.
Hit the ball.
It's interesting because, I was going to tweet out yesterday. Great quote, but kids don't do this. Like, he's established himself as like an all-time great in mastering the strike zone and bat to ball skills. I worded that a little differently because I didn't want to take away from the fact that it is just a fucking awesome quote. But if there's any kids out there, work on the fundamentals, the basics of hitting, and then we'll work on your power game a little later. Joey's didn't just wake up one day and say, I'm going to hit for power and that's it. Like, he's one of the greatest to ever do it as far as bat to ball skills. So like, there's that one stat on him. He didn't fly out to the infield for like 8 years or something like that.
Yeah, pretty nuts.
Like, what the fuck?
Votto's crazy.
Dude, good for him, man. He, obviously his numbers came down because they had to, because he was at an MVP level for about a decade. And, man, he's still getting paid a lot of money, and full resurgence by him. Like, awesome. Good for him. Good for the Reds. Chris Rose's guy.
All right, we're going to play it. You ready? Don't look.
Okay. Oh.
Salary.
Career?
Votto. Do you want to go complete career? Let's go to date.
But doesn't he have a huge contract? Like, didn't he get like a $200 million contract? I'm going to guess he's made $260 million.
I'll go 220, and he's got a couple big paydays still coming.
You guys are going overboard. He's made $203 million so far. He's got $50 million still coming to him, or excuse me, $57 million, because there's a 25.
257 mil.
25.
Wait, 257 mil.
Will be his
203 with 57 coming puts that 260. What did I guess?
260.
Yeah,
Yep.
260.
I guess 260.
Well, I said to date.
Well, he's guaranteed that money, Trev.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're both taking credit.
I mean,
Taking a lot of credit, dude.
you guys did great. That was a great
my
guess
guess was
by you.
closer.
260 freaking mil for the
Didn't I
Votto
guess
guy.
260?
I love it.
Right, but for a different question.
Well,
It's like one of those SAT things.
I interpreted the question. I thought guaranteed money counted. So in my head, I'm spot on.
That's huge. And in my head,
here's the thing. There's still it could be more, because the team has a $20 million option for 2024. Obviously, it's not going to happen. But the buyout is the $7 million. It's a hefty buyout, right?
Ooh, and the new continuation of this game. What's in Joey Votto's basement?
Mountie hats. There's definitely one Mountie hat.
I went animal heads. Just like every animal head.
No, he's not into that. I'm gonna say some cool like hockey memorabilia. Like, he's probably got some awesome stuff. There's definitely a Wayne Gretzky.
I think there's
something.
a pop shot, like a little basketball pop shot thing.
I could also see like a DJ booth set up, and like maybe he like has like a dance floor.
All right.
I don't know.
Bring cribs back and just call it MLB players' basements.
MLB crib. Should we do that? Add it to the list.
Yeah.
Jake?
Trev. Good stuff by everyone there.
Thanks.
Good award, John.
Most, it's not an award, standout. And
Great
it's
job,
Joe
Robo.
Votto.
Oh, Robo Trev. Wow. Standout's an award. And speaking of, I'm giving out my standout to a friend of the podcast. He had a 2-yacker day. He is the best hitter on the Rays this year. I'm going with Austin Meadows. He hits 2 home runs. You know, one of them late that kind of ends the game. Austin Meadows, I love this guy. Whenever we talk Rays, I usually say how he's like the best player on this team, and you need to know Austin Meadows, and I still don't think enough do. He's having a big platoon year. Big platoon year. 935 OPS against righties, 567 against lefties. So don't love that. But if you're a right-handed pitcher, which most dudes in the league are, Austin Meadows is hitting you at a high all-star level. He is the best hitter on the Rays, who could end up winning the AL East pretty easily this year. And I think he deserves more love. So I went with Meds.
Meds.
Our guy. Played cards with him.
Won.
Shout out
Won.
Sequence.
I don't know if
He
that
was
video
on
ever came out.
Sequence.
I don't think it did. Sequence.
Good job by Meds. Big homer off Cole.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. He's gross, man. He's good.
At?
Baseball.
Okay. Do you have a standout performance, Trev?
I do. I went with a big boy hitter on the Cleveland Pixie Ducks. Franmil Reyes went 3 for 4 with 2 homers and a walk, but did you see the homer to left? It hit the basketball arena, basically, which is across the street. Completely left the building, and guess what, guys? Franmil Reyes is having an incredible season. 19 homers. He's hitting 270, 269. Shout out BBD. But he's got a 918 OPS with a 141 OPS plus. I mean, the guy's like doing it. 6'5", 265, and he looks every goddamn bit of it. It's a big boy, and he's putting together a really good season. So shout out. I mean, the homers when he hits them, they're so fun to watch. He's not one of those big guys that, swings a wet newspaper up there. He's swinging that stick, baby. So shout out Franmil, giving something for the people in Cleveland to watch.
Yeah, I mean,
OPS plus.
The home run was crazy, and I feel bad because it's my dude Kim, who I like.
It's tough.
Absolute bomb.
His nickname is La Mole. La Mole? Is that like mole? Like that's a Mexican dish, so maybe not. I wonder what that is. That like a mole? Might need help on that.
Secret agent or
Yeah.
a blemish on your face type thing?
Well, I believe it's a Spanish word because
Yeah, I'm guessing they're using the Spanish version.
Fun guy, absolute monster. I think I've said this before, but during my unemployment days in Colorado, one day drifted to a Rockies game, little stony baloney, and Franmil was on the Padres, and it was like, he's huge. He's huge. He's Judge. I know it says he's an inch or two shorter, but he's huge. That's an NFL tight end that hits baseballs. A big NFL tight end that hits baseballs.
So in Dominican Spanish, it means like mass. And like, so it means, so this person says that in like Dominican slang, it means the beast, basically. Mole means mass, so like the beast.
The mass.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. That's,
Pablo's coming to steal his shine.
oh,
You want mass?
Oh man,
they're different masses.
some sumo wrestling between those two guys. Like strip down, just put the underwear on, and put a circle around them. See what happens.
Jake, out of all of our trade boards on the Chris Rose show, you only have one guy gone so far.
Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for Gibby to
And
drop.
Story. You should have
Ashland just got the first team, which is huge. She had Duvall to
the Braves.
So good for her. I know she was getting some. Yeah, I need Gibby to drop. I need Story to drop. I went big because I went all-star fishing. So if I get them, there's some big points there. So, but yeah, we'll see.
Jake, you and I in a sumo ring. You think you got me because you're gonna get low and you got a good center of gravity?
It'd be interesting. I think it probably comes down to our legs don't line up well, and I think one of us gets a knee to a bad spot, and I think that affects the result.
Be a classic
I think we're just
MMA match
we're
where
whacking some bodies, but like I think my knee hits you in the calf and it hurts, or your knee catches me in the thigh or something.
I have it as UFC where the one dude's on his back kicking
Yeah.
and like come after me, and Trev's just like trying to box you while you're on the ground, like
well, I
just
think
like running.
sumo, if you're down, you're down.
Yeah.
Oh, you did
Yeah,
sumo.
Where it's sumo.
Jake's got you.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know. I mean, we've locked horns before, and it's. I felt the strength. I'm not intimidated by it.
No.
He's Jake's like a Enho.
Jimmy's gotten deep into the sumo world a couple times.
Enho Akira. He's like 5'6" sumo dude. There's people built like Jake in the sumo world. There's not really people built like you, Trev.
That's 100% true.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
I'll give it to
Trev,
you, Jake.
you gotta get the fuck out of here.
All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Yeah.
Slump Watch. We had 5 guys on Slump Watch. We got 5 potential additions. Hopefully some of the guys we put on work their way off. We'll get into it. BBD, who are we potentially adding?
As the biggest potential offers this week that we could be adding, Jose Abreu, 0 for 10, 2 walks, 2 Ks. Tommy Pham, 0 for 8, 3 Ks. Tyler O'Neill, 0 for 8, 4 Ks. Trent Grisham, 0 for 8. And Ronnie Treyas, who was in Fuego, I think as recently as last episode or within the last couple weeks. He's in an 0 for 10 with a walk and a K slide.
Damn, Pham and Grisham?
And we're fighting for playing time
That
in
Frazier,
San Diego.
that Frazier trade make him Nuevas?
Guys.
Come on now. Shit. All right, Willie Adames was on last week, and he goes 5 for 14 with a double, 3 Ks. As I told you, the Brewers just hit the shit out of the ball this weekend, or this week. So he's off. Trevor Story, I mean, he's got a lot on his mind. He goes 3 for 11, does have a homer and a double, 2 RBIs, a walk, and a hit by pitch. His on-base percentage was 308. The batting average is only 182, but the slugging is 545. And I have something like he's going to be on a new team.
Right.
And I'm not going to have Slump
So it
Watch
clears,
carry
yeah.
him to a new team. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, let's because you know, as much as we talked about Trevor Story, I have no idea his numbers on the year.
Not great.
He's having a down year.
But he's been injured.
240, 312, a 741 OPS. So
I think I read his defense has slipped a little bit. He's been having trouble with throws due to the elbow injury.
17 swipes. How about that?
Still swiping.
Elbow, feet or legs didn't get hurt. He's just trying to let everyone know. So we're taking him off, though, because he's going to get traded. He's not going to carry it with him.
Well, there's someone else you got to do the same thing with.
Oh, Gallo. Yeah, Gallo's in a huge slump. Oh,
Yeah.
we'll do the same thing. Okay. How about,
Homered in his last game with the Rangers.
how about that? Good job by him.
Make a memory.
We got Adolis Garcia, and he's 143, 250. 1 for 7 on the week. You want to keep him around?
I think so. Let me go check out Adolis. Yeah, because he's starting to get into a danger area a little bit. The OBP dropped below 300. He's 254, 299, a 784 OPS. So yeah, let's keep an eye on Adolis. I'd love a bounce back because Gallo's gone. If he finishes this season strong, he's like the face.
He is older than Gallo. Just looked at that. I love age stuff.
Age stuff.
Yeah, it's the OPS to get back up. I want to keep him on to get the
Yeah.
OPS back up
We're gonna
above
boost him.
800. We're going to help him out by keeping him on Slump
Big
Watch.
weekend. It's his team.
Yastrzemski, 1 for 11. The Giants win the series against the Dodgers. They didn't hit a lot. Bueller shut him out. I don't know. You want to keep him on?
Where's Yaz at? He's having a interesting little year. 224, 318,
Same thing.
785.
His OPS went under 800 due to this series against the Dodgers, so we need to keep him on so
Let's
we can get
keep
it back
an eye
up.
on it because, yeah, what are they going to do? Do they get Bryant? We know guys like Duggar have been hitting this year for them. So, yeah, I'll keep an eye on Yaz.
And then as far as the additions, I'm putting Pham end Grisham on unless there's something weird in their game logs.
I like that.
But let's watch them as they.
That's a storyline.
Little baby toe, I don't care about.
Baby toe.
Start hitting
Not
or
supposed to.
yeah.
Toe.
And then you got Tyler O'Neill 0 for 8 with 4 Ks, or Jesus or Jose Abreu 0 for 10, 2 Ks. I think only
You'd
one of
lean
them
Jose
goes
Abreu, right?
Reigning MVP.
on a good team.
You'd lean Jose Abreu.
On a first place team, I'll say Cardinals, so don't get mad at me. Same thing. This series dropped his OPS below 800. So we got to put him on to get it back up.
Yeah. Okay.
Easy enough. The only thing is if O'Neill, if he's in the same boat, I'm going to feel a little bad. So I'll go check it real quick.
Well, then you can take out one of the Padres.
No, O'Neill's still got good numbers on the season. So
He'll be good.
He'll be right back.
That is allowed.
And it was only a 2-game set.
I was gonna say,
O'Neill's
if it wasn't
fine.
3
He doesn't
games,
need our
it's
help
good.
at all.
He's good.
Great. Good stuff. All right, Trev, you can come back.
Trev, if you're there.
Trevor.
I'm right here, guys.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. And Fuego. Let's do
There
it.
you go. Wait, why are people talking about me in the chat? What were you guys here talking shit?
People love you, Trev. People just want to talk about you. They're big fans.
Yeah.
In Fuego, Joey Votto, already told you about him. 6 home runs. You know who else had more than 2 home runs? Young, thick Austin Riley. You want him to trade for Bryant or J-Ram, Trev? You're gross. Austin Riley, 421 batting average, 450 on base, 1 dot OPS this week. Brandon Drury, we talked about him a little bit, 7 for 9. I thought he went 8 for 8 in his first games back. Maybe 1 game back was before this series. I don't know. 2 home runs.
Looks great in a uni.
A double. Looks great in a uniform. Brandon Drury, insane return. Kyle Farmer. He's a Dodgers prospect that got traded, that panned out for the team that got him. 10 for 16 with a homer, a triple, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs. So he hit for the cycle with a walk and a hit by pitch. Man, I hope he had a fielder's choice and an error as well and got on base every which way. Good job by Kyle Farmer. Brent Rooker. Who that?
Brent Rooker, Twins prospect for a while, right?
Big time
some
power.
juice.
No, not little juice. Big freaking power.
I remember Rooker. I remember talking about that name, being like, that's a funny name for a rookie. 6 for 11 with 2 homers. Miguel Sano, also 2 homers, 6 for 13. And Rowdy Tellez, we talked about him. Rough first 8 games as a Brewer, and now he's just been absolutely on fire. 6 for 13 with 2 home runs. Josh Harrison, anyone wants a util? He's playing himself into a trade, maybe. Our dude Jesse Winker goes 8 for 18 with a homer. Devers for Boston goes 6 for 11 with a homer. McNeil for the Mets goes 6 for 12 with a homer. Good job, everybody.
Yes.
Those guys are in fuego.
In fuego.
Which brings us up to awards.
Seahawks.
I'm going to pass the ball and not lead off and go to Trev because I like the name of his award he has in the sheet.
Oh, okay. All right. This is going to be an interesting one because I'm not giving an award to a player today.
Huge.
I'm not. Had this realization last night. I talked to you guys a little bit before the show about it. My award is called the Humans Are Human Award. And I believe sometimes, and we're responsible as well for this, we'll talk about sports figures, whether it be players or owners or GMs, and they're just like a thing. They're not a person. They're not a human anymore. I sat behind Brody Van Wagenen last night at the Angel game, and we do have a little bit of history together. He was an agent at CAA, who I used to represent me during my career. So I knew him from there. And then obviously he has the famed stint as the Mets general manager. Short stint. I'm guessing a lot of people are going to say it's a failed stint. Now he's working at Rock Nation in like a marketing sort of way, helping players do that. But I realized when we were sitting behind him, we had a nice little conversation that we were probably really hard on him for like what he did with the Mets and what he did or didn't do. And I don't recall what we said about him, but as I'm talking to him, I start to realize, dude, this guy like put himself out there and like made a move that like most people wouldn't make. He had a cushy freaking job at CAA, and he was very good at, being an agent, but he went out and took a chance and became a GM of the Mets. And that's talk about probably one of the harder GM jobs in all of baseball. You're in the New York landscape. You were dealing with a different owner at the time who, like, everyone, made a joke about them as well. And so he had a failed stint there. He had the Rob Manfred behind the scenes leaked audio thing come out. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, we criticize this guy a lot, but as I was talking to him yesterday and listening to what he had to say, he talked about how he was very humbled by the situation that happened over the last 3 years. I told him, you know what, dude, screw that. You went out and took a chance, and you have a perspective that I don't think anybody else has ever had. I guess Dave Stewart kind of did the same thing too, like agent to GM, now doing marketing. Like, you have all these awesome, points of view that nobody has. So now I want to just say, sometimes we have to remember these people are human. He went out and took a chance. It didn't work out. I'm sure we talked crap about him, but at the end of the day, I'm going to give him some snaps for going out there and doing his thing. So humans are humans. Sometimes we have to remember that.
I do remember that he's human, and I think there's just a lot of jokes, like, you're an agent, like, not like, it was more jokes on the Mets that they hired an agent to be a GM when they needed a GM. And we did give him credit for the way he handled the Manfred thing. That was actually like a shining moment for Brody. But I'm glad you guys got spent some time together.
Yeah, nice guy. So, yeah.
Trevor Plouffe meets you, he'll like you, probably. Or hate you. So that's good for Brody.
I do. Sometimes I hate people.
Exhibit A.
Oh, yeah, people are saying Rob. I think they're talking about Rob Pelinka, the Lakers. Is that what they're talking about? That's also. So I guess there's been 3 people.
It's a little more of an established pipeline in basketball, but
wasn't it the D-backs too?
I said Dave Stewart.
Dave Stewart. Yeah.
Yeah. Who now just roasts people on Twitter.
Did some bad trades.
My award is something we gave out on Talkin' Yanks before. It's Condom Award. Unprotected Sex Award.
What's the award?
The Unprotected Sex Award.
Unprotected Sex Award. Okay.
Yeah. Goes to Shohei Ohtani. He lost all his protection. Trout got hurt. Rendon got hurt. And I was looking at the game that you were at yesterday, Trev, because you were there. I mean, Ohtani came up. They had Phil Gosselin behind him.
Phil Gosselin was behind him.
They had Phil Gosselin behind him. And, I mean, Ohtani came up with 2 outs, and they just walked him to get around him. Then Ohtani came up with 2 outs again, and they just walked him to get to Gosselin, who made the last out of the inning twice. And then he came up again, and there was 1 out, and they said, let's just walk him. And since July 4th, since Rendon got hurt, Ohtani has had no one behind him. They've messed around with Walsh. They upped in a couple times. It's been Gosselin the last couple times. He has almost a 400 on base percentage since July 4th. And I want to credit him for keeping good stats, because he still has a 284 batting average and a 1.0 OPS in this stretch with 6 homers. But, I mean, life was a lot easier for him when they had Trout and Rendon behind him. But Ohtani's still pretty good that when they do make a mistake, he'll crush it. I was expecting to look at it and it'd be like, 400 on base percentage and maybe the batting average is down, but the slugging's still there. But Ohtani's good, and I bet he cannot wait until he has some protection again, because Oakland, who's in a race, I mean, teams that aren't in a race, they're just going to tell their pitchers, like, we'll try to get him out. But Oakland needs to win, and as Ohtani continues to play against teams that need to win, they're just going to walk him. So we'll see who the Angels start putting behind him now, but there's some people that don't believe in lineup protection. We've talked about this. It's very, very real.
Yeah, I for one will never use protection again, so that's cool. And I did see Montas pitching to him last night. I believe there was a 3-0 count where he got a breaking ball. I think he struck him out his first at bat, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, struck him out his first at bat, yes.
And then there was a bunch of 3-ball counts that, like, Montes was just nibbling. He wasn't going to put anything over the heart of the plate, So, yeah, I did look up last night, and I was like, wait a minute. It's no offense to Phil Gosselin, but Phil Gosselin backing up Ohtani, that's what's going to happen a lot. A lot of walks. A lot of, 4 or 5 pitch walks.
The good thing is Ohtani's fast, so if there's not 2 outs, he's just going to steal, which he did. Or do you have to worry about that? If there's 2 outs, you don't care about the double play. Otherwise, Ohtani just they walked him, he stole. But kind of interesting development with that, with Rendon and Trout gone. They're just searching for someone to kind of make guys pitch to Ohtani.
He's pretty much on like a 58 homer pace this year, so that gets overlooked a little bit.
It's wild, man. I think he did swing at a 3-0 pitch too.
Go
so
ahead.
he's understanding the situation, being like, "Fuck this."
God.
Jake,
Showtime.
Jacob,
Boys, I'm giving out the Clear Eyes, Full Hearts, Can't Lose award. A favorite on here, Trev. We talk about your football days a lot on here. Jimmy, big Texas high school football guy. Boys, we referenced it a couple times this episode. And, we're talking a lot about prospects and baseball, how tough it is to actually stay and do all this. Picture, you're a top 100 prospect. You get called up by an MLB team. You get a full run for a season, 134 games. Positive OPS plus. 786 OPS. You're a rookie, 23. Age 24 season, you take a baby step back. Your numbers are similar. 135 games. You have a nice year. And then you get traded to be the third baseman for the New York Yankees. And it's like, whoa. Where are you going to be in the lineup? Like, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, baby. Brandon Drury had this happen to him. And we've referenced him a couple times this episode. And he comes over to the Yankees, and we saw him, and we got excited because, Trev, it's something we've bonded about on these episodes. Boy, does he look the part, man. He fits a uni well. He was picking it clean at third. We were like, okay. We believe in GM Brian Cashman, so we're like, who's this guy they picked up? Like, is he going to be the next Yankees third baseman for 3-4 years? Brandon Drury had a migraine issue that he said he had dealt with his whole career, and he'd never really addressed. He kind of didn't know what to do with it, and part of it was the fear of, making it as a major league player. And then those fears kind of came to reality. This is the year that Miguel Andujar comes up for the Yanks. He's challenging Ohtani for the Rookie of the Year. He kind of takes over the third base job. Brandon Drury comes back. He's trapped in the Yankees minor leagues. He makes the minor league all-star team, and he basically turns down the invite because he's like, dude, I'm a major league ball player. He goes over to Toronto for a couple years. 1 year, he kind of gets some run, 120 games, but the numbers are blah. And now he's in this cycle of baseball where you're a veteran and you're out of options. So if you get a shot with the team, you basically get kicked to the street the next day because they got to clear up their 40-man and all that. He ends up on this Mets team this year with all the injuries and issues they've been having. He got a little bit of run, bad numbers, bad results. He gets called up again, and he gets 8 straight hits, one shy of the New York Mets record. And, man, if there's a guy you want to root for, and if you like baseball stories and all that, I don't know how it ends or where it goes for Brandon Drury, but, man, root for that dude. Root for that dude, and I hope he gets more opportunities and he keeps hitting, because if you do, that's how you play in this league. I mean, this is his game log since he got the call, and Jim, you figured it out when you were crunching the numbers. 1 for 1 in a pinch hit against Toronto. 1 for 1, both doubles, pinch hit against Atlanta. He gets the start. He goes 3 for 3 with a homer, 2 ribeyes. Pinch hit the next game, home run. And then he puts up a little 2 for 4 in Atlanta. So, man, we know the Mets have been dealing with injuries all year. We'll see who's coming back and who stays hot. But if Brandon Drury can keep hitting for them, or, God, if he ends up somewhere else this season and you see him getting at-bats, root for that dude because he got put through the baseball ringer a little bit, and that's a guy you can root for.
Clear eyes, full hearts.
Can't lose.
He had surgery on, like, nerves in the back of his neck, right, to fix the blurry vision. Like
Scary
that was like,
stuff.
Yeah.
Scary.
Good job.
I mean,
B. Drew.
When you're at that point and you have no options, every time there's a move, you're on the lookout. Like, that could be me getting out of here. You know, they save those roster spots for young guys and guys with options. So that's basically why I stopped playing, because I hated the opportunities I was getting because I was out of options. Old guy not getting a roster spot. But I do enjoy when guys stick around and keep getting opportunities and then capitalize on those opportunities. So I like Drury. He's always nice to me.
Get some run, hit some balls. End up on like the Brewers next year, and he'll
Your freaking World Series ring.
He'll get a 2.5 WAR or something.
Yeah, it'd be a good spot for him. Boom, ba-do-do-do-do-do. What was I gonna say? I think that's the end of this show. We do have Best Friend of the Week.
It's another Best Friend of the Week award for Walker Buehler. He becomes the first player to reach 5 Best Friend awards. He goes 7 shutty, 8 Ks, 3 hits, 2 walks.
Did you hear the rude thing I did to the Giants? And I think some Giants fans were upset with me.
Yeah.
They suck against good pitchers.
Yeah.
Especially pitchers they're going to have to face in the postseason. Like, Walker Buehler has just had his way with them. And then when they face pitchers like David Price, they'll put up some numbers. But it's something that I'm going to look at closer when we get to the playoffs and we do pregame shows and stuff, because I don't think they've gotten to an ace yet.
Yeah, I mean the only thing I'd want to look up as a part of that